Hi, this is Michael with AutomateTheWeb.net, and in today's video we're going to talk about the VBA method getElementsByTagName used for scraping web page data. In a previous video we looked at getElementsById and getElementsByClassName, but sometimes web page elements don't have an ID or a class name associated with them, so getElementsByTagName comes in real handy. Let's say we have a report that we have to run. We have to go out and pull data from a website, copy it, paste it into Excel, and just for example I'll find a long list of last names to copy and paste, and we want to automate that process. We'll just start a new VBA code module. In the previous videos we looked at how to do that, as well as we need Microsoft Internet Controls and Microsoft HTML Object Library. And we'll get into Firefox, use the Firebug Inspector to look at the code that we want to pull. It looks like it's in a table. ID is my table. There's a first child element, tBody, and within that child there's lots of tr element children. And each one of these TRs, okay, looks like there's 4 columns to the table. There's 4 children elements within each TR element. So I'll get that element by ID my table, and I'll look at each TR element in that table, and then I'll loop through each TR and look at all 4 of the children. And looking at this in the document object model panel within Firebug lets us kind of visualize the tree structure or the document object model, that they're all TR elements. I'm just sort of forming a mental picture here of how this table is laid out. I can see it from the code as well as seeing it from within the document object model panel here in Firebug. So let's start writing this subroutine. And I'll start by dimensioning some variables, activating a new instance of Internet Explorer, and making the browser visible, navigating to the web page, and then holding the code in this spot while the page is loading. All of this we covered in the previous video. And now I'm going to use some debug print statements, do some reality checking on the code that I want to use to access these elements. I said the first thing I wanted was to grab that table identified by ID equals my table, and I want to further walk the DOM to its first child element, children 0, which is tBody. It's right there. And then I just want to run through this code. I can print the tag name, and in the console we should have the word tBody if I've typed this correctly, and we do. So I know I have that typed correctly. Now I want to access each of these TR elements. So I step into the table object further using getElementsByTagName TR, and there should be about 1,000 of those, so let's just confirm that by printing to the console the length property of this object array. Good, 1001. So I've typed that correctly. This code's getting kind of long, so I'll use the underscore to drop it down to a second line, just for easier human readability. Now I want to validate the first TR element in the object array of 1001 TRs. The first one, the 0th one, the text content should start with surname. Oh, good, it does. I've typed that correctly. So I could use getElementsByTagName to grab all of the TD elements, all 4 of them, within each TR, but I can see that this first row has THs, not TDs, so I'll have to use a different approach. We'll just look at all 4 of the children within the TR one at a time, starting with children 0, children 1, children 2, and then children 3. So let's go ahead and form a for next loop, and we'll use the object variable ELE as a temporary holder for each TR in the array of TRs that we're looking at. So just to validate I'm thinking about this correctly, I'll cycle through each TR and print its text content. Okay, that's working, so I'm thinking about that correctly. Now I want to print the text content of each of the 4 children in each TR onto the sheet in columns A, B, C, and D. So starting with the first child, in the first TR that's held by the variable ELE, get its text content, which should be surname. There, I can see that it is. So the first child is notated as children0. So I'll do le.children0.textContent. That should be surname. And I want to put that in column A. Actually, column A, Y, where Y is a row number that we can increment. So we'll start on row number 1. And after each TR element gets evaluated and printed to the sheet, we'll increment the row number by 1. And now we'll place the text content of the second, third, and fourth child element to columns B, C, and D respectively. And that should be it. Let's go ahead and validate this by stepping into the loop. If I hit F5, I'll run the code, but I'm not ready for that. I just want to test it first, so I'll use F8. We'll step into the loop line by line, navigate to the page, wait for the page to load. And good. I'll go ahead and press F5 just to run through the complete cycle. And it worked. And now that I think about it, this part, children0, we really didn't need to have in there, since all the TR elements within my table are the same as all the TR elements within the first child of my table. We really didn't need this part, children0. Now you can visit this page on automatetheweb.net where you can download this code, and we'll take a little bit deeper look at the getElementByTagName method. That's it for now. Have a good one.